For example, like for a project closing or for a your book closing, the timeline cannot be moved,
Yeah.
right? That becomes urgent.
Yeah.
But then what's important is what tasks in that are important. If there are 10 tasks that are needed to be completed, you can help talk to the stakeholder and say, okay, out of these, only 5 tasks are actually important to make that urgent deadline.
Got it. Hey there. Welcome to the Speak and Flow podcast. I am so glad you're here. This show is for leaders who care. Leaders who know that when things get messy, the way we communicate makes all the difference. Every week, I sit down with incredible guests, founders, VPs, rising stars, to unpack real moments of today where communication matters. We talk about what works, what doesn't, and how you can lead conversations that create trust, movement, and momentum. Because in uncertain times like today, your words have weight. Let's use them well. Let's dive in. Welcome, dear listeners, to the Speak and Flow podcast, where we slow things down just a bit to help you communicate with clarity, with confidence. Each episode is just 20 minutes long. We're going to give you practical tips to help you address real time what is happening in your work and in your world. Today, we're going to be talking about how to speed up your process, speed up productivity in our world where everything feels urgent, everything has an importance. It's not clear what we need to do. And so that's our episode today. We're going to have so much fun, and I'm excited to bring Executive Director of E3 Consulting. He has over a decade of experience in renewable energy, bringing renewable solutions, energy solutions to our global world. So I'm excited to have him. He's also the author of Building High Performance Resilient Team, a leader's people guide, a people leaders
People
guide,
leaders guide. Yeah, people
people
leaders guide.
leaders guide.
Yeah,
And I'm excited to learn more about this book because there's a lot of philosophies that was introduced to him by his mentor, and his mentor's no longer here. So we're just really excited to be able to honor his work. So welcome, Rounak Kharait. Hi, Ronak.
hi Melinda, thank you for having me. It's an absolute pleasure to be here.
I'm sorry for messing up that title. I was like doing so well, and then,
No,
but
you're fine.
building high performance resilient teams. I mean,
Correct.
that
Yeah,
is so important in our world today. We're just going at super fast speeds, and so we really need to learn how to have resilience in this time and age.
absolutely. If you want to build championship teams, it has to happen over a long period of time. So short-term
Yeah.
decisions can impact on the resilience of the team, because you can have short-term successes, but you're looking for long-term sustainable success, resiliency within the team. So it's absolutely important.
I agree. And so there is a listener out there who's really busy. And
Hmm.
so he or she stopped to listen to this episode. What
Hmm.
would you hope that this person gets changes in their lives when they implement the strategies today?
Yeah, I'm hoping that they would get a sense of calm out of the strategies that I'm going to provide here, because when you're having so many urgent tasks all important at the same time, it kind of gets overwhelming.
Yeah.
And this is not relevant to just work, it's relevant to life as well, right? We have so many things that we are juggling as working parents. Hopefully this strategy can help you prioritize and set the expectations correct, moving forward. So that's what I'm hoping for the listener to go
Yeah,
back with.
I agree. So as leaders, we want to be more in the calm and operating from a sense of calm. And so by following these strategies, they can get that.
Absolutely, I'm hoping so. Yep.
Yeah. And so today we're talking about attention scarcity.
Hmm.
What do you think that means? And how does that affected your life?
Yeah, this is a very, very interesting topic to talk about. Attention scarcity for me happens due to a couple of reasons. One reason that we kind of talk about is, there are so many things to do, and everything is important for everybody, right? So we are, even if we want to, we cannot pay the attention that we need to do for that particular task. So that's just scarcity because we have to do multiple things at the same time. But the other thing is also we have a lot of distractions,
Hmm.
right? While at work and other personal time as well, where kind of we are a generation of using our phones more than any other generation. So we have scarcity in terms of our attention span or concentration itself, right? So that can be a part of what leaders face today, because we are trying to work with different generations, different mindsets
Right.
as well. So yeah, those two things can be a part of the attention scarcity that the leaders are facing.
Yeah. And have you struggled with this before?
I have absolutely, like, a lot of my roles in my field, like, to give some background to the listeners, I work for a consulting firm right now, but I have been in the solar energy industry for almost 12 13 years, and
Hmm.
my role is to support large scale solar and storage projects to be implemented in the country. So whether it is developing it or whether it is providing financing for these projects. So if you drive in the middle of the desert, you see solar projects, out there. There's a good chance I might have worked on it.
Wow.
So that's my field. So for me, I have worked with the largest renewable energy developer in the world, and they were we had 20 projects a week that we are working on. So everything is important for every developer, every project. Their project is the best project in the world, right?
Their
So
one project is the best, even
and
though.
I get it. I get it. If I were in their
Right.
shoes, I empathize with that. But I have
Right.
to adhere to all of the 20 projects or give them the input they need for 20 projects. So
Yeah.
how do I prioritize that? So that's one example where I faced it. The other is also, for us as consultants, we are pretty busy during quarter endings, right? Because everybody's trying to get the project, quote unquote, on the books,
Yes.
right? So
Yes.
people realize at last minute that I want to do that now.
Yes.
And I've been asking them for months, but now they realize I need this report in two
Because
days.
it's, yep, end of the year is coming up. Yep.
End of the year, so I need to get that. So that's the time where I feel that urgency, and I have to prioritize and help my team prioritize as well. Because
Yeah.
if I am not, helping them prioritize, they get confused.
Hmm.
Right? So I have to help them with that. So those are the two examples I can think of.
Yeah. Do you think that because there's so many things that are urgent, people get more distracted or they get, what is that?
Uh,
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, like I said, for every stakeholder you're working on, their project is urgent and important. So there are two distinctions that we provide, right? Like it's
Hmm.
urgent and important. Uh, for that particular stakeholder, it's both. So that's why they feel, we should drop everything that we're actually currently working on and do things for them, because
Mm,
their project is important and urgent. So
got
the
it.
key is for us to help us distinguish between those two factors
Uh-huh.
and talk to the stakeholders and then come to a conclusion what's actually urgent and important.
Okay. And
Yeah,
how do you do that? So can you also give us a little snapshot of what might be urgent and what might be important?
correct. So
Example.
yeah, urgent is obviously based on a timeline, right? Something is bound on a timeline. For example, like for a project closing or for a your book closing, the timeline cannot be moved,
Yeah.
right? That becomes urgent.
Yeah.
But then what's important is what tasks in that are important. If there are 10 tasks that are needed to be completed, you can help talk to the stakeholder and say, okay, out of these, only 5 tasks are actually important to make that urgent deadline,
Got it.
right? So then you can help filter that situation and make sure that you don't give all the 10 tasks to the team so that they feel overwhelmed. You can give the 5 tasks and help them, say, okay, I've negotiated and worked with you on
Yeah.
making this what's actually important and urgent.
Yeah. Yeah. And do you have a specific methodology to help them decipher? One is to a timeline. And what if
Yeah,
and then out of all the important ones, how do you know
yeah,
what was most important?
yeah. So good question. For that, then again, I work from like a tree diagram kind of perspective, right? Okay, now I have the 5 tasks that are important and urgent.
Uh-huh.
Then I will categorize them based on revenue impact
Hmm.
or personal impact. I think personal impact is also important. How much? you know for long term sustainability. I can't have this stressful task being done continuously, so
Yeah.
that my team member will feel that they are feeling overwhelmed. So that's also a part of my decision making.
Mhm.
But revenue is then also a part. If I do task A, which is going to give you X dollars,
Mhm.
versus task B, which is going to give you X minus 10, then task B becomes important, right? So then you
Yeah.
focus on. So you and for that's my two categories. But there are other categories that people can think about, right?
Yes.
You can easily uh, put him into certain buckets, and then which bucket is more important than the other is the leader's decision that to take.
Yeah, yeah, I love that. And so this is an example that you working with your clients can help
Yes.
them to decipher. But what about from an organizational level?
Yeah.
From the sustainability and what you do in the sustainability industry.
Yeah.
And I think like all organizations, a lot of organizations today, everything has been so fast paced
Yeah.
and everything feels urgent.
Hmm.
Are you finding that the leaders at the top are doing more things that or less things that are important?
uh, I think leaders are now focusing on more things that are important. I think the value that the leaders have not now seen is the value of having a clear vision and a mission to the team, which
Hmm.
helps all the team members align in the same direction, right? And helps them understand the decisions that the leaders are taking. So if
Hmm.
you have a clear vision and a mission statement, the all the team will know why you are taking certain decisions, right? But if that is not clear, it's kind of hard for the people that who are impacted by this to understand where the decision is coming from.
Yeah. And what
Yeah.
would you say to people that are like, "Oh, we've done that before. We've created mission, vision, strategy, and
Yeah.
it doesn't work. Nobody follows it."
Yeah, I would say it's one thing just creating it, and then it's one thing following it.
Yeah.
And the harder part is for the leader to actually follow it. So
Yeah.
when the leader is creating that vision and mission, if they don't themselves portray or show that they are passionate and they are following that, it's not right for them to expect it from their employees,
Right.
right? So it comes from them showing, okay, in every decision I'm taking, this is what I have laid down as the foundation, right?
Yeah.
And this is what we are going to move towards. And if you show that, then everybody sees that, right? It's something that the leader doesn't have to speak out aloud, but the employees will see what they're doing.
So they can't blame the employees for not following through.
Correct. If I'm a firm believer of this, like if I can't do something that I'm asking my team to do, it's
Right.
unfair, right? I mean, I don't have the same skill sets that they do, right? I understand that, but I will always empathize with what they are bringing onto the table and say, okay, I know what you're doing, and
Yeah.
help them, and give them the time and the space to mature, to learn, to grow in their respective roles, right? So I will definitely do that.
Do you think that a lot of I love that because I love the intentionality about it and I
Yeah.
love the conversation that you're having around it. Like I see what you're doing and I mean maybe leaders are unintentionally going back to urgency and then
Yeah.
forgetting the strategy or not forgetting, but it's hard sometimes to
It,
make
it, it
change.
is it is hard.
Yeah.
Absolutely, it is hard. And leaders have their own reasons to take that, right? There
Yeah.
are financial pressures. There are
Yes.
pressures from the board of directors that come in. So again, that's the challenge for the leader, especially middle management, right? We have to balance
Oh,
both, right? We have to balance up and we have to balance down.
yes.
So it's
Yes.
kind of a hard role to be in. And
Yes.
one thing as a leader that we have to do is be okay with not everybody being happy. It's very hard, and for someone like me, who wants to try to make everybody happy, it was a
Yeah.
big transition for me as a leader.
Yeah.
I tried to make everybody happy, but at some point, one of my leaders in one of my roles told me, "You have to decide who are you going to make unhappy."
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
you can't keep everybody happy at the same time. It's just not physically possible. So you have to come up with a strategy and think and talk them through based on their personality on why you're taking this decision. So
Mm.
as leader, I have grown in that, because we take the call, right? we are taking the decision, and we are going to take the fall if there is a mistake.
Mm-hmm.
So it's both an ownership and accountability as well. So that comes from being a leader and just learning from it.
Mm-hmm. Oh man, it is very challenging. I think for many people as they go to middle management,
Yeah, yeah.
because we're accustomed to wanting to have success and wanting everybody to be happy. We're the people, like you said, the people that are actually people leaders care.
Hmm.
And so
Correct.
the
Yeah,
people leaders want to have success and also people care and people happy. And so to balance all from the top down and below is definitely quite a challenge.
quite a challenge, but it's fun too.
I love it. And so, in your book that you wrote and
Yeah.
the philosophies that you've taken from your coach, your mentor is no longer here, would you like to talk more about some of the philosophies on building resilient teams?
Yeah, absolutely. So, some of the chapters of the book kind of talk about how you lay the foundation. The first one is laying the foundation, and that goes on the lines of understanding your team members.
Mhm.
Right? It's just not about how what work they do and what subject matter expertise they bring in, but it's also about who they are, what kind of personality they have, who are their families, what they'd like to do, because you understand their personality is important when you are assigning them tasks. For
Mm,
example, if you are looking at a problem which requires big picture thinking,
yeah,
you can't give it to a person who does the job what is given to them. And
right,
that's a good trait, right? But
right.
it's not for a big picture kind of a project. So you understand the personality. So that's one. Couple of others which I can talk about here is experimentation is a part of being a leader, right?
Mhm.
When you know your team members, when you've laid the foundation, you experiment with giving people some of the challenges that you think they could do, but maybe they don't have the confidence. You build confidence in them, push them a little bit, because unless you experiment, you'll never know,
Mhm.
right? And I've given examples in the book on that one. Like, and as leader, you have to be okay with that experiment to fail,
Yeah,
right? But it's important not to make that same mistake again, which is another chapter in my book, like allowing mistakes and embracing them, right?
yeah,
As a leader, if your team member is making a mistake, it is okay. Like, we
yeah,
have to embrace it, but then help them understand why that happened and make sure that doesn't happen again.
yeah,
You make a new mistake,
yeah,
and the same mistake shouldn't happen again.
yeah.
So stuff like that, as I was growing, and as a teenager, when I was appointed the captain of the team, my coach helped me understand all of these, because it's a team where you have only certain number of players can play, certain number of players have to be out of the team,
Oh,
right? So it's the reality, right? So I have as a captain, I have to explain that to not only the player, but also at that time their parents, who are extremely passionate about why their kid is not in the playing starting 11. So I was doing that age 13, 14, along with my coach.
oh wow.
So that again, so I'm using the same concept, right? It's the same concept where you're trying to have maybe difficult conversations with some people.
Mhm.
How to do that, how to approach that, I learned that from my coach, and from the leaders that I have been privileged enough to work with.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And those are so important and so powerful because at the end of the day, it's the teams and the people within the teams that are producing and supporting the company and
Mhm.
helping to connect to the growth and the profitability of the company. So it's like all of these people working together is more sustainable, successful when
Mhm.
everybody can work together. But that does require that you get to know each individual on its own and what are their key strengths, how do you bring out those strengths and giving
Mhm.
them assignments that stretch them so and
Mhm.
not be afraid if they fail and so they can learn.
Mhm. Mhm.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you learn as a leader too, right? You'll know,
Right.
oh, I
Right.
experimented here, I failed, and then I'm not going to make that same mistake again. So
Like, how do you
we
balance like not over micromanaging
yeah.
versus allowing them to, be creative?
Yeah, very good question. Initially, when I'm trying to get to know the team, it is more difficult to. to have that balance between micromanaging and letting them be and being more creative.
Yeah.
But as I get to learn more, again, I make mistakes, but I go, oh, that last time I did this versus this, so this was the result. So I need to improve. But you have to
Mm,
start somewhere, right? And that I take a decision based on the personality. Again, I spoke about, I know that person is a big picture thinker versus a doer who is going to put his or her head down and do work. Then
got it.
I'm going to try to trust them to do their job. That's another thing. At a level that we come up and we have employees, we have to trust what people do. it's
Right.
it's inherent. We can't just not trust them.
Right.
So
Right.
a lot of micromanagement also kind of shows the lack of trust.
Right.
And so we have to find that balance. Like, you give
Yeah.
them enough trust, but also you need to, because you are accountable,
Right.
right? So you need to also be sure what's going on and give them feedback and learn from them as well.
Yeah. Some people might need a little bit more management,
Correct.
especially in
Correct.
certain tasks. And some people like it, but some people don't. And some
Some
people
people.
don't want it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep. So it's a hard load. Like I wrote in my book, leadership uh, is especially for engineers, Melinda. We are thinking binary, right? It's
Yeah.
black or white. It's one
Yeah.
zero or one. But
Yeah.
leadership is not that.
Yeah.
Leadership is gray. Leadership is
Yeah.
point to point. It can be. It depends,
Right.
right? It
And
depends.
we do not like that as engineers.
We do not like that as engineers at all. It has to be either zero or one, or black or white. But as leaders, that's the challenge, because we are thinking in that spectrum all the time. But it's not the way. For
Right.
leaders, we have to be comfortable with being gray or being somewhere in between, and
Yes.
taking the same decision in different ways.
Yes.
We have to be okay with that. But
Yes.
as long as we can have the spectrum, analyzed, that's
Yeah.
something that I do. Yeah.
And I think that's a really great point because as leaders, and I think because it is so ambiguous, but I feel like the more ambiguous, the more you're taking charge and leading in the ambiguous and being okay with just like how you mirror with your direct reports or your, like me as a leader, I'm gonna make mistakes. Like the more a leader
Yeah.
can be open like that and have those
Yeah.
conversations, we're more free as leaders to lead with making mistakes and it being okay
Yeah.
without trying to hide, right?
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
ultimately we
Absolutely.
need the whole team.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah,
Vulnerability is okay. It's okay.
yeah,
And
yeah,
being open about that is okay.
yeah.
It's not expected for the leader to know everything.
Right, right.
Right?
And that's the gray area, and that is the hard part as a
That is
leader.
a hard part. That is a hard part, and I'm learning from it. Like I'm now, if don't know something, I don't
Well,
shoot from the hip. Right? I say I don't know it,
you, I
but
think
I'll
you
find.
mastered it. You wrote a book. Come on.
I'm trying to. I'm trying
You're,
to.
you're living it.
Like my coach said, you're always a student of the game, right? You never think you are greater than
And
the game.
that's a true leader. That is the
Always,
true
always
definition
learning.
of leader. We're constantly learning, and that's what we're okay with it. So we're
Yeah,
already, it's great. It's great. So I feel like there's so much information in here, leading from going from how do we, distill all these urgent and fires that we, down to the important, and then down to how do we pass information on to our team. Like there's so much information in here. And so if you were to give the listener one key takeaway, what might that
Mhm.
be?
Yeah. One key takeaway would be, remain calm and think about, what strategies that we could follow to help prioritize and help understand what's actually important and urgent,
Yeah,
and portray that confidence and calmness to the team. Because if you are confident and calm, then the team is confident and calm.
I love it.
So that would be my message. Yeah.
Thank you. That was beautiful. Ronak, that was amazing. And I think that they're very lucky to have you. Your teams are lucky to have you, E3
Thank you.
Consulting. Thank you so much for what you're doing with the renewable energies across the globe. It's so important in today's world. And yeah, I think that we need to do more to really protect our environment. So thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, Melinda. Thank you for having me on the podcast. I really appreciate it.
It was really fun.
It was. Thank you.
And thank you, listeners, for being here. I trust that you got your takeaway implemented right away. And also, if you want to get the book, Ronak, would you like to tell them about your book? Like where to
Yes.
download it? Mhm.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Melinda. So my book is available on Amazon and on Kindle as well. So I'll send the link across, Melinda, and maybe you can add it to the podcast notes, and then people
Yes,
can
yes.
get that.
Definitely. Yeah. So pick up the book and implement the strategies. And remember, anytime you have a chance to communicate, you're also connecting and making a positive difference in other people's lives. So until next time, take care. Bye bye. Thanks for tuning in today. If this conversation sparked something for you, if you're thinking, we talk a lot in our organization and things still fall through the cracks, we're not getting the results that we want, I've got something for you that might help. It's called the Accountability Self-Assessment, and it takes less than 60 seconds. In one quick review, you'll get real insights as to why accountability and results are slipping on your team. And you'll walk away with a legacy accountability card. It's a simple one-pager framework to help you and your team move talk to traction. Because the legacy of you and your team is built more than just meetings. It's built on clarity, consistency, and follow through. So grab it today. Go to speakandflow.com or click on the link in the show notes. It's free, fast, and built for busy leaders like you. See you next time. Until then, keep communicating with impact and momentum.